Honor the eldest among you, for he is to rule my house when I am absent. Ward the mortals from Cain's descendants, and treat them with honor in all things. Slay not those of the blood, for that judgment is for the elder alone. Deceive not those of the blood, for my house is founded on truth. Judge those of Cain's blood, and punish them, should they be found wanting. Hello, and welcome to Valley by Night. Brought to you, as always, by the Diabred Venturing Company and the Nerd Eternal Network. Or at least always until Heath fires me. This is, of course, our...
Consistent.
Do what now?
You're too consistent.
Yes, I am. I'm showing everybody up. This is, of course, our Vampire 5th Edition Chronicle, set in Huntsville, Alabama, and the surrounding areas. Also known as the Tennessee Valley, where the name comes from. I'm your storyteller, Jason, and with me tonight, as usual, will be Sarah playing Jolene, Decca playing Blackjack, Rap playing Maeve, Duba playing Alexander. I think he's waving. I can't tell. There's a slightly lighter patch.
Yes.
And Eric playing Samuel. Now, last week, what did we have go down?
I was accused twice of being an anarch.
Was it twice?
It was twice.
Yeah, maybe it was.
I met some guy way too fancy for a Waffle House at a Waffle House who may or may not be doing vampire things for some
Crimes.
The
crimes.
sun was still
potentially
up when
even.
he came in.
When
So
he
maybe
came in.
another thin blood.
He might not have been the vampire, but the guy that he picked up the phone and was like, "Some of us gotta eat." You know,
Well, that could just be him talking to a fussy boss that demands too much. You don't know. You jumped into conclusions.
yeah, but
I believe Maeve had a little adventure with her sire.
Yeah, and then Samuel and Colin had words.
no.
They
That-
just spoke. It was
that was
cordial.
fun.
Verbal sparring.
Ish.
Yeah, verbal sparring.
Uh,
Words. They're words.
Let's see. Alexander was taking on a tour of the sewer. Shown where some of the entrances to the cave system underneath the city are. These are not entrances that very many people in the city know about. Most of them were constructed by the Nosferatu.
And on top of that, I got to witness something very strange that I will end up telling or saying something to Samuel about due to this was some type of weird blood ritual at this house. You have any idea what he did?
Oh yes, you did follow a fellow around that was catching rats and killing them ritualistically and spreading their blood around the borders of this house. Or the lot the house was on. Let's see. Samuel mostly studied. Was notified of an Elysium at the old bank on Sunday. And right before we were wrapped, believe he found out that the regent needed to speak with him. That, of course, the regent, of course, being the head of his clan. Let's see, was there anything else? Refresh my memory, Decca. I know the Brat Pack started quizzing Blackjack about possibly having anarch leanings. Did anybody else?
You know, the more I think about it, the more it might have just been the players here. Might have just been some player interaction, like player to player. Because I haven't
Okay.
thought about it too. I was like, who was
No,
that?
you did it was the Brat Pack visit, and then you went and checked up on your touchstone, and then called Jolene
And I called
"What's
Jolene.
sunshine?"
That's right, because you were creepily spying on your neighbors. They look so nice and mortal over there.
I'm so proud of him.
Alright. Let's see. Other than that, minor correction. That's probably not important. But I gave the wrong dates last week. I was off by a day.
Oh.
Friday would have been the 25th, which means Saturday, today, this session would be Saturday the 26th, which is going to be very quickly handled. And then on to Sunday, where the Elysium is, which is the 27th. Because, you know, Gary Gygax once said time must be very carefully kept for a campaign to mean anything. I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact High Gygaxian quote. All right. So you were just turning in at the end of last session. Just quickly, is there anything any of you wanted to do that Saturday before the Elysium on Sunday?
Not especially.
Okay.
I checked with my touchstone already, so I can check that off the list for the next couple months. Before I have to do it. Before I have to do it again. Just general. Now that the Brad Pack have actually visited me, now I'm doubly so like, don't fuck with my farm, you assholes. So I'm just doing my regular like once about, but otherwise, unless someone needs me, I'm gonna be not doing much.
You can, of course, all of you can, of course, exchange whatever information you want to. Do any of you alert the Prince or Primogen about the lupines to the north?
Do I know about them?
I'm not sure that you do. I know Maeve and Samuel know.
Yeah.
Maeve left that to Samuel.
Oh.
Yeah,
Since
Samuel
he knows more people and he's the talky person, she left that to him.
Samuel would think so this is the night before the Elysium
Yes.
and the night after that excursion. Or just the same night?
It was Friday night that the excursion took place.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday
Saturday night, you have the chance to pass that information on if you want to.
Right. Okay. He is going to he's going to see if he can find one of the various ghouls that run around in the ledges that he probably knows of, just by sight, if not by name.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly.
And he's going to ask them to pass a message on to the Prince for him. That he needs to speak with the Prince urgently if he might be granted an audience.
The ghoul asked you what's the nature of the... if it's an emergency, what can you state the nature of the emergency?
A potential lupine incursion.
Guy perks right up. I will let him know immediately.
Thank you. Let's see, did I write everything down? Okay. Me realizing I didn't write down the specifics.
Let's see. What did Colin tell you? From what he overheard, one of the lupines would live locally and seemed to be of a different faction of some kind from the others. They were a little dismissive of him, and they were clearly coming in from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
That may be all the really pertinent information he gave you. Other than where they were meeting at, all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
The messenger comes
up in the Caitiff area.
Yes. What was the old Gangrel territory, or domain? Anyway, the messenger quickly comes back to you. The prince is currently out, but the seneschal would be happy to speak with you.
Okay.
Uh, let's see. Oh yeah, there's the country club and the ladies. He'll meet you at the country club. Now, this early in the evening, the country club is still, open to kind of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But the kindred will still drift in there and use private rooms for talks and such.
Yeah.
And of course, the actual staff of the place is very much under the control of the Prince and Primogen.
Yeah.
So as you make it down there, the Seneschal Chad Tucker. All right. He's waiting for you in one of the private rooms when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in, and one of the employees is immediately, Doctor, Mr. Tucker will, is already waiting on you.
Okay. So his name was Chad Tucker.
Yes, the Seneschal is Chad Tucker. Of Clan Ventrue, if that matters.
Okay. Okay.
As he walks in, you see the Seneschal. He stands up. Doctor, good of you to come so quickly. Now, what is this? What is this incursion you're concerned about?
Well, the sire of a member of my coterie has decided to visit the city. I believe he sent a message last night that he would be presenting himself at the Elysium.
Oh, this would be a Mr. Collin, I believe.
Correct, yes.
Yes.
He took Maeve out on a hunting mission for some unnamed benefactor of his, as of yet. They found a small pack of lupine up in the old Gangrel domain, discussing more activities within the city. By his report, one is apparently already lives here locally, and the others are from outside of the city.
So it's disturbing to think that a lupine would have been living here among us all this time.
Indeed.
But perhaps it's just a lone wolf if it's here alone.
From his and Maeve's report, they seemed to be very dismissive of him.
I wonder if the lupines have their version of caitiffs.
It's possible.
We'd already had some reports of the lupine numbers getting heavier in the north. Your newest coterie member, Alexander, was it?
Yes.
I believe that was why he moved down into the city.
That is what I was told, is that he moved to a more populated city because the lupine were making a greater threat in his home.
And Hazel Green does not have much of a sewer system to hide in.
No, it does not.
I'm really surprised that Nosferatu could make it up there for as long as he did.
It's part of the reason why I agreed to have him amongst my coterie. He is resourceful.
Indeed. Well, thank you for the information. Obviously, if you discover anything else, please call me.
Of course.
He gives you he gives you a card with a number. This is a number for one of my people. Of course, don't discuss business. But he's been instructed that should you call, he will make himself available to you. And you can pass on the information in person.
There's one good thing about having to learn to adapt to the technologies of the kind, is you learn how to hide amongst it too.
Yes. It's useful, but it's very much a double-edged sword.
It definitely can be.
Well, if you'll excuse me, Doctor, I have other business to be about.
Of course. Thank you for agreeing to meet me so quickly.
Oh, of course, of course.
It was a matter of some concern.
Oh, it is definitely something that you should have been passed along. And he takes his leave of you.
And he'll go off to do his own thing.
Okay. Well, you knew the Regent wanted to speak with you.
Yes.
So
he's
there's
going
a drive down to the coterie. Not coterie, to the chantry. Too many words to start with C's, caitiffs,
Yeah.
chantries.
Just happen to drive down, just like, oh, okay, well, there's a Maeve in the car, in the trunk. And, alright, there's Jolene. You're gonna do too. Just picking everybody up along the way like sacks of potatoes.
Oh God.
Good luck doing that with me.
He hit you with the car first.
I just shoulder
knocked you out
checked the car.
There's a cow catcher on the front.
Yeah. Just picks you up, just drives along.
Alright, you're gonna have to make a left. No, you can't see right now.
He becomes the blinker system.
Alright, so you head down to the chantry.
Mm-hmm.
A mysterious building that I don't think the rest of your coterie even knows where it's at.
Nope.
Since the previous chantry was burned to the ground, the clan is pretty secretive about where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
But you drive up to it. It's got the big 15-foot privacy fence blocking it off from the road.
Yep.
But you've got a little key to there's a keypad. You input your number, and the gate rolls back.
Yep.
And you pull up to the outside of this old mansion. The front door opens before you even get there. One of the resident ghouls that takes care of the place. Master Samuel, very, very glad you're here. The Regent was wishing to speak with you, and he's been quite animated today.
I see. Well, if you would show me to him, I'll see what I can do.
He is in his office, sir.
Of course. Help.
Valet parking.
And
It's
Wait,
like
just
valet parking.
he just parked in front of the house.
Yeah.
So as you walk through, you take your coat off, hang your coat up, whatever your usual ritual is.
Yeah.
You see several of the other apprentices, because like I've said before, you technically count as an apprentice, because anybody that does not have a rank in the chantry does. But
Yeah.
but they all tend to look at you as the more senior,
Mhm.
as you're the only one with any age to you.
Yep.
But you see, they are all currently here, apparently. That sentence sounded
Okay.
weird. They're all here in one of the studies as you walk by. They seem relieved to have seen you.
He'll give them a nod.
Like I said, the guys all seem relieved, and they respond with a nod. Julie kind of waves a little bit.
And he'll continue on
Yeah,
towards
they're,
the study.
They were packed around like they were, in like whispered conversation.
Yeah.
Uh,
He just like goes by and just one brow raised.
As you go up the stairs, you hear something. Sounds like something crashes against the wall in Alejandro's office. Nothing too heavy. I mean, it sounds like something was thrown, maybe.
Are we all there?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
I didn't think so.
Yes. There are several things that Samuel does not tell anybody about.
Yeah. I was just wondering.
He'll just go up to the door and
Who is it?
It's Samuel, my lord.
Oh, yes, please, come in.
He'll open the door.
You walk in, and his office is messier than usual. It's always a little cluttered.
Mm-hmm.
His desk will be well organized, but he'll have open books laid out on shelves and stuff around him. And he's still got that, but now there's stuff in the floor. There's this little bit of pottery that he pins and stuff in that it's laid over against the wall. The pins are spilled out. We're being betrayed, Samuel. Stabbed in the back.
May I ask how?
The prince, well, I'm sure it's someone higher up in the Camarilla is likely suggesting this, and then the prince just rolled over for it. They're bringing in Assamites.
Assamites.
Yes, or whatever they call themselves now, the Banu Hakim.
So I see.
I knew the Camarilla was making peace with them and trying to bring some of them in. But now apparently they're being forced down our throats.
Well, that is...
It's going to be a disaster, what it's going to be.
Well, yes. Especially considering that I just got finished giving a report to the Seneschal for the Prince that we have been made aware of a lupine incursion as well.
He looks at you, says something in Spanish that you're pretty sure is profanity.
Yeah.
What have the lupines done?
Well, from the report that I received from a contact, there was a small pack that has come from out of town that are now prowling around in the old Gangrel lands.
Okay, it's some distance from us, but still concerning.
And there is apparently one that has lived here for some time that they are getting information from.
Didn't think they tended to like cities.
They typically don't. Perhaps this one does, which would explain the apparent disdain the outsiders had for him, according to my informant.
Who was this informant?
Well, member of my coterie. And a friend that popped in from out of town that will be presenting themselves to the prince upon the Elysium.
I see. I would assume it was your Gangrel friend, and they tend to be the most knowledgeable about the lupine.
As they tend to. You have to understand that I have to practice some discretion.
Yes, of course. You've proven yourself trustworthy over the years.
I would certainly hope so.
Well, one thing's for certain then. Clan Tremere must be prepared to help the prince in any way in this emergency. We must prove our worth to him.
Of course. I've been working on some research as of late that might be of some assistance, but it will take a lot of time and a lot of material.
What are you working on?
Let us say it is something that was lost with the original chantry. That I have been, as of late, galvanized to re-find.
Any old relic or, well, any sort of information that you can find from the chantry would be a boon. We lost so much in that fire.
We did. Inside his head, you have no idea. As he's trying to figure out how to make fire. To reawaken the old lure of flames. But Assamites...
Yes,
I do wonder why the prince is wanting to be known to affiliate with the dark thaumaturgical arts.
I don't know. The Banu Hakim are on the very verge of joining the Camarilla. Once they marry off that Toreador, I think it will be official. Like I said, I suspect someone higher up in the Camarilla is pushing this on the prince, but I haven't seen where he offered so much as a token resistance. They're gonna let that man sit with the Primogen. He is shaking with anger. They say on just an advisory basis.
Well, I don't really like it either, but this could present an opportunity.
In what way?
Well, the Assamites are very protective of their secrets of Duran Key.
Mm-hmm.
It could be an opportunity to potentially learn more.
Perhaps. The one fear I have is the Lady Deschler.
Very true.
She's been she has for years subtly hinted about wishing to learn the arts of thaumaturgy.
And, yes, making pacts with demons, from what all my old tomes suggest, is an easy path to power.
Well, that may have been exaggerated slightly in some of our tomes. The Assamites are certainly dangerous, but...
Yes.
But this could give her a new avenue to explore. Especially if whoever is in charge here in the city wants to get in good with the Primogen.
It would be an easy way to have some form of leverage over the prince, too.
Indeed.
Perhaps we should consider maybe bringing her into our confidence. To leave us with the ones with that leverage, however small. I do have a rather fine reputation with her. We get along rather well.
This is true. I don't like the ideal of leaking our secrets to Clan Ventrue, though.
Yes, that is what's been holding me back.
Our thaumaturgy is really our only advantage, especially in our weakened state.
Yes,
But it's already
Well,
being undermined by them bringing in the Hakim.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am of both minds. To potentially use it as an advantage to secret out some of their knowledge, and to potentially, if the risks is deemed acceptable, to potentially teach Lady Ventrue.
I'll have to have time to think about that. Trying to ferret out their secrets, though, I approve of. We could try. It's a very basic tactic, but we could try a sort of good cop, bad cop. You're a very personable sort. Don't lay it on too thick, but perhaps if you were friendlier towards them than they would expect a Tremere to be. Where I will be much more the hardline traditionalist.
Well, it certainly could work.
It's as good a plan as any. We also need to research ways to spy on them from a distance.
My sire knows of several rituals that could do such a thing. I've seen him use them before. I would need to further my own studies in thaumaturgy in order to utilize them myself, but there are a few. I could potentially send out a letter to him, see if he'll respond. I know he's been itching to travel. As of late, he's been starting to hear the call.
That's unfortunate.
Yes.
The call has gotten so many of our more experienced members.
He's been holding it off for now, but the last time I spoke with him about a year ago, he's been wanting to travel as much of the world as he can until the call takes him fully.
Keep this mostly under your hat. You may certainly contact your sire.
Of course.
If you feel he is trustworthy.
He is. That is one of the boons of this unlife of mine, is that he and I are very similar people.
Very good then. Which faction of the clan has he sided with?
He has kept himself as a neutral third-party negotiator. He has taken it upon himself to help smooth over any hostilities between the various factions, as to not have it boil over into the sight of the kind.
Trying the neutral approach, much like we are. Yeah.
Yes. As I said, we are very similar people. That's why he sought permission to embrace me.
Yeah. And you'll continue to, you and Alejandro will continue talking and, hashing over what might or might not come about from the Banu Hakim arriving. Another point of frustration he feels, though, is he hasn't even been told how many of them are coming. The prince has just said a coterie. Let's see what else. Oh, and they're going to be given the use of one of the universities, which are traditionally Tremere territory.
Which university?
That's a good question. We'll say the Calhoun campus across from the Space Rocket Center. Which is a good ways away from town from where you are, and a little ways from the Chantry. So he's quite upset about that because he feels like something's being taken from his clan. Though there's so few of you, you're not sure anybody's actually been using that campus for anything.
Does make me curious.
So if there is nothing else that particularly needs to be done Saturday, we will move on to Sunday and the Elysium called at the Old Bank.
Mm-hmm.
If I may, sir.
Certainly.
Uh, essentially, Alexander will have probably texted Samuel and asked him whenever we are free to possibly discuss blood magic or blood rituals.
But would you say it that way though in the text?
No, to be more a characteristic, he would essentially have said, "Dear Doctor, there's a matter of utmost concern that seems to be dealing with blood magic or rituals. Not sure which. Would like to talk to you further about it."
Samuel's gonna have to give his coterie some remedial lessons on what not to say on
Apparently.
technology.
Yeah.
Social media training classes.
Julian's just gonna be like, okay, here's this, and this.
Yep. He's gonna look at that. Sigh, glad that he keeps his detection off on his phone. And just crushes it.
I mean, Alexander's probably going to take a second and realize that he did a dumb, and luckily he knows it's a burner phone, so he literally just drops it in the sewer like, "Oops."
Yeah, he's just gonna crush the burner phone he has.
And to be fair, Alexander has not lived in a city where he was really communicating with other kindred on a regular basis. So
And like
No, he really wasn't.
he's just gonna he's gonna hold on to the pieces and just burn them in a fire when he gets home.
he's thorough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's not gonna respond back until Alexander comes knocking.
Yeah, well, when y'all get together, what is the nature of the conversation, Alexander?
Well, I say when he does meet up over at Samuel's estate, he's going to apologize profusely.
It's a very
For-
steely look. Like basically just like imagine a table, like right, like when he comes to his office, like just facing him, just staring him down.
Remember, I understand. It's been a while since I've had to actually communicate with fellow kindred as ourselves. So I tend to forget to be more, what's the word, secretive of some things I say. But regardless, yes. So, during a little hunt of mine and during a wonderful expedition of learning the underways and sewers of this beloved city, I came across something rather odd. A gentleman, nicely dressed as you tend to on a daily basis, was in the sewers gathering rats, and as I thought that to be strange, so I followed. Unfortunately for me, it led me to a rather weird situation. I say weird, but then again, being undead, it kind of comes with the territory. Anyway, I digress. Yes. Okay. He decided to take the rats, and while mumbling a chant under his breath, he essentially squeezed the blood around the property. Essentially, I believe, setting up some type of barrier spell, perhaps? I'm not quite sure. As I said.
Award.
Possibly. I dared not go anywhere to cross the line. I simply made sure to jot down address and the vehicle that the gentleman drove.
Good. Did this person use any kind of knife? Something that might have looked Far Eastern in origin?
Yes, actually, he used what looked like a sacrificial dagger of some sorts.
So they're already here. Potentially.
Pardon?
It is an issue with Clan Tremere.
Ah, yes.
I'll make sure my Primogen's made aware of it.
Yes, Sorry for the disturbance. Just wanted to inform you before we meet with
Fine.
the prince.
What's the address and the license plate of the vehicle, if you have that?
He will reach into his pocket and literally have a little notebook and pull the paper and sit it on your desk.
Of course.
Now, did he write down those numbers, or did he take a picture with his phone?
I think he did both.
Maybe so.
I'm pretty positive. I made sure he did both actions to take a picture, though. I'm pretty positive he did what he could with the flash off, just so he wasn't suspicious.
Yeah, I remember us having a conversation about the flash. Is why I bring this up.
Yeah. How I remember it, because I was listening in, because, blood magic, was,
He was like a little prairie dog.
yeah, basically, was, he got some pictures, but then you mentioned, it was really dark without the flash, so then he jotted down in a notebook, too, what he could get.
Again, if Alexander's essentially going to be an information hub, he's going to get every detail he can in some shape or form.
Alrighty.
So he will essentially hand you his notes and just kind of give a little bow and just kind of give you a crooked smile.
If anything I could do, please let me know.
Before
There is
he's
one.
Yes?
Do not ever mention anything about the Kindred over technology again.
Yes. Again, my apologies. It's been a while to communicate with others.
And a single slip-up could bring the Inquisition down upon you. Did
Do
you
not worry.
lose the phone that you texted with?
No,
Did
sir.
you destroy it?
Yes. It is destroyed by essentially shorting in the sewer.
Very well. Just keep it in mind for next time.
Yes, of course.
Well, have a good night, Alexander. I have news to give.
You as well, Doctor.
And would Alejandro still be at the chantry at this point?
Most likely. The nights he shows up there, he tends to spend most of the night there, either researching or teaching.
Okay. He's heading back.
You get let in again.
He's booking it too.
When you get there, Alejandro seems a little bit calmer. I mean, he's clearly still agitated, but you've got a plan of attack. He's tutoring one of the other students.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't write their names down.
Is it Jackie, Pearl, Jeffrey, Singh, or Scott? Because those are the names I have.
well, at least you are keeping track of the students.
Actually, it's one of them that was not at the last Elysium.
Oh, I play vampire.
Andre Walker.
All right, adding a new name. Andre Walker.
The rest of the apprentices are still there working on their own projects or whatever. But
Right, yeah, he's gonna show up, look Alejandro dead in the eye. Again.
At first, Alejandro's just a little surprised to see you back already, but and then he notices the expression on your face. Excuse me a moment. And he stands up and he steps out in the hallway with you. Is something wrong?
I have reason to believe the Banu Hakim are here already.
Well, the Elysium's tomorrow, so that's not unreasonable. Have you seen them out and about somewhere?
A member of my coterie has. He stalked them, moving through the sewers, collecting rats, and performing a warding circle upon a domicile. I have the address and the license plate and the make and model of the vehicle that they used. He was wise enough to not to attempt to cross the line.
Probably, yes. That was probably wise. I can get someone to run the license plate number without too much trouble. Though it looks like it was a local plate. As far as the address... Thank you, Samuel. I'll have someone look into it. If your coterie wishes to investigate the domicile, that would be fine as well.
Of course. Considering how insidious their rituals can be sometimes, I am hesitant to attempt to cross that. Unprepared.
I would advise you not until we can figure out what it is.
Of course. It could just be a simple ward, or it could be like their fabled assassination rituals.
Indeed. Their path of quietus.
We lost Uber.
No, it was, Oh, no, yeah, we did. Honey? We lost you. There he is.
No.
What did you do?
You were saying that, I'm like, yeah, I don't see him. Maybe he got him walked off without anybody noticing. But that wasn't
He's
what you
doing Nosferatu things.
No, somehow I lost sound, and the only sound I could hear was the delay from the stream. So I'm like, wait a minute.
Completely off the grid.
I mean, isn't he always?
Despite the fact I'm letting you guys see him, you can only see a little bit of red.
Yeah,
Right.
we gotta give him a reflective vest or something.
I kind of like the aesthetic of just him Nosferatuing it up in the background over there. He's playing up his character.
You can never say we don't have production values.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
They're poor production values, but we have them.
Yeah, they're there.
All right.
Okay.
So that'll wrap up. I guess that wraps up our Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday night.
So we won't bother with the rouse rolls for the Saturday, but waking up Sunday evening, everybody give me a rouse roll or a hunger
Now,
roll.
what if I say no?
Then
what
you'll
if I don't want to?
you'll automatically fail.
Darn. Why do you gotta call me out like that, man? Jeez.
If you want to play hardball, he's gonna play hardball right back.
Yeah, that's true. My
Mine's
dice
like-
agree with me.
That's about the
All right,
same.
so Blackjack gets a little hungrier and Jolene gets a little hungrier. Everybody else is fine.
I'm gonna go after a cow. Just
Yep.
to,
Beginning of a new week.
yes.
They're not really going after a cow. It's
I'm
there.
just like, come here, Bethany. Come here, Bethany. It's okay, go.
She just sits there and munches.
I just imagine he looks up, he sees Jolene on another one, just like, what?
But she's gonna.
Cows are big. They could just be on the opposite ends of the same cow.
Oh no, I don't like that image.
No.
I don't like that image.
but which one's up front and which one's in back?
Well, I was picturing them both on the side. Sickos.
Like really weird ticks.
You know, like a shoulder and a hip
Angus
bite.
beef. Angus beef is good.
What if it's like you know when they have dates and the straws are both in the same milkshake?
Oh god.
Yep, that's how it is.
You're just staring across the back of the cow at each other.
But she will go hunting. She's at 3, so.
Weirdest
All
date
right.
ever.
Weirdest date ever. So, how'd you two enjoy your dinner? It was delicious. What was it, cow?
Like a steak?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Very rare though.
Yes, it was.
Indeed, very rare. We told the ship it
Glistening
only
with
lived it
blood.
once.
Walked it by the fire, spooked it, walked back.
Now let's see. Jolene is a farmer. finding what I'm looking for.
Wasn't it usually like I think survival wits?
Okay, it was survival wits, I believe, because you were actually hunting. But something occurred to me after last session. You are the Jones Valley Coterie.
Mm-hmm.
Jones Valley has the Jones Farm, the largest urban farm in the country.
Oh.
The majority of that farm is in your domain proper.
Yep.
Why aren't you just hunting their cows? Why aren't
She
you?
said the cows are off limits. She thought they meant all cows.
Oh, well, that's fair.
I was just waiting for
That was some
somebody to
weird
point it out.
blackjack thing.
I mean, you and me, Jason, being the only people native to here, I was waiting for somebody to just point it out, looking at the map, go, "That's a big ass farm."
It's a big farm.
It is.
And being urban, you don't really have a lot of coyotes around. I mean, you do as soon as you get outside of the city, but
Cows.
so it's not like they round them up at night and lock them up.
Yep.
Except maybe during the worst parts of the winter.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just gonna be like, well, maybe he didn't mean all cows.
I don't give a shit about anybody else's cows. Just don't touch Darlene, Bethany, Bassett, and Claire.
She's like,
You made
okay.
the number one mistake for a farmer.
Named your food.
You named your food.
Well, I don't know, because that'd be about like naming dairy cows,
Yeah, I'm not
which
naming
is not as
slaughterhouse
big a
cows.
violation, yeah.
Yeah, true.
Though I have
That's
a cousin that even when she was young, she would name the cows, play with them growing up, and then be right there when it was time to butcher them. No problems.
It's a little sadistic.
Eh,
I don't mean to judge your cousin like that on air, but like that's a little.
I smell a sociopath.
as long as I know from the beginning, Bessie's gonna be a steak later. Okay, what do I need to roll?
Okay. If you're going after domesticated animals, it is the Composure Animal Kin. Because it's just more about keeping them calm as you approach them, not actually kind of hunting.
Okay. If she was gonna try and juice box some rats,
Then we'd go back to the, what do we say, wit, survival?
But so you
I'm
don't
gonna-
have animal kin,
Or
do you?
whatever it was
roll
you've been
that
rolling.
I'm gonna roll that because I have a lot more spots in survival than I do animal.
Okay.
I have none
That's
in
your
animal kid.
I'll say that's your
Now,
hunting
the
cow.
difference is the difficulty will be lower going after the cows.
You know what? F it. We'll try it with animal kid and composure.
You need 2 successes. Instead of the usual 3 or 4 I was having you roll before.
Don't tell my dice this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't know her dice like I do, because they do shit like that.
Well, okay then. What's your hunger at?
Three.
Well, oakley dokley.
I mean, it could be a dead cow if you decide to ride the wave, but
She drains an entire cow. Oh. Ate the whole
God.
thing.
To be fair, she hasn't eaten in like,
a while.
yeah.
She goes to Elysium. Everybody's like, when's the due date?
Oh God.
I've heard rumors that Thin Blood can do this.
Followed by how?
Thin Bloods, they have had documented Thin Bloods. I think in one of the books that they had gotten pregnant.
In
Yeah,
the
Thin
old
Blood.
books, you had rules for creating Damphir.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of that carries over to this, but the rumors I know are still there.
I think they do for Thin Bloods, but I don't think any other vampire can.
Not until you get to those weird eastern guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
Jolene becomes a mom in 9 months.
No, no.
And that's why I don't let her touch my cows.
Cause you're afraid of minotaurs? What?
I have
Wait, you got female cows anyway. This isn't working on any level, Deca.
She's just gonna go hungry to Elysium.
Oh, my
Big
word.
scene.
I mean, you could maybe try to hunt again. I don't know.
That would be up to the storyteller.
Oh, let's see. The Elysium's at 11. You could hunt anytime after it got dark.
She's gonna go back to the old faithful of.
All right, I'll let you make one more roll. Now you said juice boxing rats.
Hey!
So are you climbing down into the sewer to hunt for rats?
Oh, like probably not rats, but like small animals, like rabbits.
Or stray dogs or cats?
Squirrels.
Well, stray cats.
Cat
Stray dogs would
means
be more the
small.
animal kin thing. Alright, so you got 2 successes. But you need... Let's see... I believe I was demanding 3 successes when you were hunting in the woods.
Yep.
So that's a no.
Yep. Yep.
Can willpower reroll?
Unless you do that, willpower reroll to get your.
Yes,
have
actually.
you guys seen my dice? Have you seen my dice?
Well, you've already got the 2 successes.
So you just need kind of one more, I think.
So you could re-roll 2 of your dice. Because you've got 300 dice, so those 3 you cannot re-roll 100 dice. But you could re-roll 2 dice. Oh, see, that was great.
Oh
Hey.
no! Oh no!
Oh, that's a critical success.
Yeah,
Two.
yeah, it is.
Isn't that
Yeah,
bad?
No, that's a
No.
critical success.
Okay.
Those aren't hunger
They're not
dice.
under blood
Okay.
dice.
Okay.
Those are regular dice.
Oh, that's right, because she cannot re. Oh, I was getting so excited too. So 4, 5. So that's a total of 6 successes you got. Because on a critical, each of those successes count as 2, so that's 4 plus the initial 2. So you have no problem. Let's see.
Finding rabbits and other small critters.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of because you take several rabbits for a point anyway.
Somehow she takes down a deer.
With 6, yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
So hungry.
I need venison.
She like scared it out in front of a car and then just grabs it afterwards. Like, this is mine.
So you hunted it? No, I watched a car hit one, and as it ran off, I followed it until it finally dropped.
Yep.
It was a
It
mercy kill.
works.
Hunting.
But no, with 6, you probably just flat out tackled one or something.
I'm okay with that.
It works.
I'm just picturing her leaping on its back and biting it while it jumps around.
Eventually, blood loss
Weirdest
is fixed.
damn rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
If you can hold on for 6 seconds, you're fine.
So yes, you can let's see, a large animal. You can get how many blood points out of? No, we won't worry about it. With a 6, you've definitely hunted well enough to knock yourself back down to 1 if you want to. If a deer ain't quite enough to do it, then you manage to get a rabbit too or something.
Variety.
It's the spice
Yeah.
of life.
Dessert, appetizers, whatever.
And this who else got hungry? Oh, that's right. It was
I did.
Blackjack, and he had it.
But-
You had your cows. What hunger were you at?
3.
Okay, so on your cow, you can drain down to get back down to 1 without harming the cow. So
Are we at the start of a new week or the end of one?
this is Sunday night, so this would be the beginning of a new week.
Okay. So when I first wake up, I'm gonna go find my own herd and take a little sippy sip.
Okay. What was your hunger at?
2.
Okay,
Bring it down
so
to 1.
just a sip to bring it on down.
Yeah. Resonance roll.
Oh yes, because that is a big thing with you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get resonance off the cows?
You get a plus dice to your animalism potentially. There's a chart I got to roll on to see if it's actually strong
Yeah.
enough to.
I'm okay with.
I've got to get the storyteller screen, so it's got all the charts.
Just
Mm.
do they sell
Just
an
like-
official one?
They've got. I know on drive-through they've got a print on demand. Well, they'll print them out as cards. They can slip into those customizable,
Yeah.
screen sleeve things.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just get the PDF and I could have it up on a screen, I guess.
Yeah. That's what I do.
I mean, I've got 3 screens. They're all full, so I don't know where I'd put it.
I just have one big one. Which is why anytime you see anything white pop up on my screen, I suddenly just go pale. I just disappear.
Yeah, I've tried to counter that by having kind of my umbrella lights up.
Mm.
Alright. Okay. Where are my dices at?
Or dices.
That must have been what I thought I was forgetting when I started it. Alright.
The dice books.
So resonance on, we'll start with Deca. Resonance on his cows.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 1. So negligible, so you don't get any bonus
Fine.
from the cow. And then on Samuel's, herd of nurses.
Yep.
That is a 5. Which
Also
still falls
negligible.
under negligible, so.
Yep.
Let's see. Jolene, I don't think it would do any good.
Let's
Good.
roll dice for chuckles.
Because it would give you a 7 fleeting. So nothing. Basically, you gotta get a 9 or a 10 to. Because I think the animal would only give you a bump to animalism, which isn't a discipline you've actually got. So. And then Alexander and Maeve, are either one of you going to hunt?
She's at a 2. She's fine.
Okay.
She'll be like,
I mean,
I'm good.
I'm at a 1, so I should be okay, unless I just feel like quickly diving down and getting some juice boxes.
Oh, that's right. You were downing juice boxes last session.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, down with some juice boxes.
Brings like a rat for everyone.
Because we were doing the whole wriggling rat.
Party favors. There you go.
Shots, 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 shots.
Oh,
Brings a rat for everyone. Samuel sitting here staring at the rat because this would barely slake any hunger for him as an ancilla.
That,
No,
that's
he-
a,
he
that's a
would
no.
make sure- No. He would make sure for Samuel that he'd find the fattest, plumpest one.
Unfortunately, though, for ancilla, animals only slake half hunger.
So you need to bring, like,
Box of rats. Like a bouquet of rats.
yeah.
Just tie their tails together. Here you go.
So what you're telling me is I gotta go lob a local pet store worth of rats and bring it back.
He must
Got
have a
it.
pet snake. Yeah. No.
Oh my
no.
word!
Oh yeah, no. If he
We're a
actually was
pile of
caught
chaos.
shopping.
I love it.
Oh no, I'm being honest. If he was like, if he had a choice, he'd literally go into a pet store. Like, oh, do you have a snake? Well, at least it's gonna be fed well for a few days. So you think?
Uh huh.
The trick is if Alexander went into a pet store, the workers would run out screaming.
Oh, I know. When your character almost looks like a giant rat himself.
Uh huh.
Alright, so the Elysium is at the old bank. Well, which is on the court square, basically across from the courthouse. There's some historical significance to it. You know, it was the oldest continually functioning bank in the state until just a few years ago when the last bank finally ended up pulling out. It's built at the site that John Hunt was supposed to have built his cabin, essentially like the founding of the city, right above the Big Spring. So back behind it is Big Spring Park. A hunting ground any Nosferatu would be jealous to have, as Big Spring Park has nutria. Big water rats, if for anybody out there that doesn't know what a nutria is.
Yep.
Well, excuse me, more like big water mice, because they're not carnivorous. I had a picture of it somewhere. Not that I can put the picture up on the stream for anybody to see, but for the players in the Discord, there's the old bank. It's not as brightly lit when y'all get there. Alright. But it's around 11 or 12 when the Elysium, when the court is supposed to start. To anybody just walking by, there's clearly some sort of event. There's cars are pulled up, letting people out. There's not like a lot of security out front, but there's a couple of like doormen out front. That will turn, anybody that's just curious and wanders up, they'll turn them away with, some excuse or some, something with the, fanciness of the cars and the dress of the people, that keeps most of your commoners kind of away.
Oh God, we have to dress fancy again.
Damn chess tournaments.
We all remember to dress fancy.
Oh, you would have been
Nope.
reminded.
Now, the rules are not as strict for this one as the last one, as the last one was kind of a social thing. This one is much more business. I mean,
minded.
You don't
Blackjack.
you don't want Blackjack showing up in mud-caked boots.
I have my clean overalls.
Probably not overalls, but at least clean ones. They might not say anything. It's one of those things where the prince probably would not take offense to you showing up in clean overalls. The
And
harpy
my
might have a
jacket.
field day, though.
I don't give a shit what the harpy has to say.
That's not
Samuel
a
does.
good way to survive in this world. Let me just say.
That is not a good way to survive.
Jolene would have, the night before, we'll say she would have been like, look, I will iron the fucking clothes if you will just shut up and wear them so we don't have to hear anything at, the after-party lecture.
It's so damn hard to move in these damn things.
Yeah, at least you don't gotta wear heels.
I don't even know how
Shut
you
up.
even. Oh.
Shoves the clothes in him.
So is Blackjack basically wearing the same thing he wore to the last Elysium?
Yeah. The one good outfit he has.
And what was it? Maeve wore some slacks last time.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone pretty much did, black and white formal dress.
Mhm.
Except for Samuel, probably.
He's more the black and red.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
got-
he's coming in style, baby.
Absolutely, he is.
Lavender leisure suit.
His name isn't Larry.
Oh no.
No, God.
No. Do not Google that, kids. Or do.
We're
I'm
not
not your
your
child.
parents.
Yeah, I'm not your parent.
I mean, to be fair, it's a very interesting game if you ever look it up.
Why am I not surprised you've played that?
I haven't played it. I have seen it, but I have yet to actually play it myself.
Why am I still not surprised?
Moving
It's
on.
me. You shouldn't be.
All right. When you get there, there's not as many people here as was at the last one. The Bird on the Mountain one was almost all hands on deck. Like I said, this one is more business. You see Marcy is there mingling. She's the keeper of Elysium officially. Unofficially, people tend to call her the Harpy when they don't think she can hear. And she fills kind of both roles, as is often the case. She steps over and greets Samuel as soon as he comes in. I'm assuming y'all all arrive kind of as a group.
Mm.
Maeve would arrive with her sire. They probably either Ubered or Lyft. I think they Ubered home, so they probably lifted there.
Yes, Colin's
So
very
she
big
can
on not
make
using the
sure-
same guys.
Yeah, because she was making sure her sire had made it to let them know he was there.
And he is in the same coat that he was in when he arrived. But, he's got like a little, it's slacks, a dress shirt, a very nice vest.
Yeah, Maeve would be wearing like a dark green shirt tonight, though, with some black slacks.
His vest has actually got like a little pin of a wolf's head that, to a common passerby, just a wolf's head. Everybody else recognizes it as the symbol for Clan Gangrel. So as I said, y'all arrive, y'all meet up, y'all go inside. Marcy's there. She steps up and greets you. As she's basically by the door, mingling a little bit and talking to everybody as they come in.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor, it's good to see you tonight.
It's good to see you as
Oh.
well, Marcy.
And your entire coterie made it. Excellent.
Yes.
So tell me, Blackjack, are we going to get another rousing speech this week?
Maybe. We'll play it by ear.
You made quite an impression last time.
I appreciate that you enjoyed my words.
Let's see. Jolene, she doesn't really talk to. Maeve, she steps up to you. Well, hello there, dear. Who is your date?
My sire, Colin.
Oh. Colin steps forward and greets her. Actually takes and kisses the back of her hand. Kind of like how he just turned on the everyman charm when he was talking to that lift guy and just started chewing the fat about baseball. It's like he's done that again, but this time he's acting very much more upper crust. It really makes you think of Samuel, truthfully. Just, without the English twang.
Yeah.
But it's like this whole, but it's the same in that it's like this whole second personality he just kind of puts in place. He's smiling more than he usually does. And, he's complimenting her on, the way she's got the bank decorated and, her dress and, it seems to go over pretty well. Alexander, you just kind of get a nod.
Oh yeah, no. Have the hood down. Just give it a little nod. Keep walking.
But she manages not to have any distaste on her face.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
Especially from the Tremere. From the Toreador.
Mm-hmm.
Though she was also, reasonably polite to you, I think, last time. Let's see. Oh, amongst the crowd, there's a couple of the apprentices are already here. Alexander, you don't see any other Nosferatu. Let's see, there basically are no other gangrels other than the prince himself. And you do not see the prince or any of the primogen here yet. But you know, that's kind of how Prince Deschler does it. You know, the Elysium will start up, and then, you know, him and the primogen will kind of show up in mass. If it's something like an official announcement or, you know, a recognizing of some achievement someone's made, you know. If it's just a basically formal get together or you know, if it's just a party, then they may show up just haphazardly. But let's see. Jolene's favorite person in town is here.
I was just about to ask. Blanchett?
Was it Blanchett or Jeanette?
I think her last name was
Yes.
Blanchett.
That's right. That's right.
Jeanette's a very different person.
About to say, answer is yes.
Jeanette Blanchett, yes. And she seems to have spotted you the second you walked through the door. Is Jolene wearing the same dress she wore last time?
She was wearing slacks and a shirt.
Oh, was
time.
she?
Probably just, yeah. I think
Okay.
everyone pretty much did like slacks and shirt.
Okay. Well, is she wearing the same outfit as last time?
Probably at least a different shirt.
Okay.
She knows how damn frou-frou upper crusty people are.
But, and she's talking to a group of, you recognize a couple of other Toreador. You're not sure who necessarily there's. But she says something, they all kind of glance at you, and then they turn back to each other laughing.
Does the usual square the shoulders, and this is going to be a long night.
Getting high school flashbacks, and I'm not even the target.
Same, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Uh,
third-hand embarrassment. How's this possible?
Scattered out amongst the crowd, you also see the Valley Cove coterie is already here.
Rat Pack?
The Brat Pack.
Okay.
Yep.
The VCC.
They don't scare me.
They don't intimidate me either.
Well, good, because they're not trying to right now.
Good.
Yet.
Somebody's doggies are upset.
Oh, I'm just glad I was muted like the last 30 minutes because there's been cats going outside my window.
They're just looking for love.
And all the wrong places, by which I mean my front porch.
They're trying to summon all the boys to the yard for milkshakes.
Oh yeah.
And only milkshakes.
And only milkshakes, because this is a family-friendly show.
Oh, yeah, right. Yes.
Definitely.
Anywho. Is there anyone, is the coterie going to stay together in one big clump, or are you going to kind of spread out and mingle?
Maeve's gonna try to spread out and mingle a little, probably.
I'm gonna just kind of shadow Jolene a little bit.
Okay.
Same. Just keep a kindred around her at all times that is somewhat friendly to her.
Technically, the laws of Elysium do not apply to Thin Blood.
Yeah.
I am aware.
Now, if somebody, just walked up and tore her throat out, that would be a faux pas.
Mm-hmm.
like wearing white after
yeah.
Labor Day.
And her being part of a recognized coterie makes it would make that an iffier proposition anyway.
I can demand satisfaction from it.
Yes, not in Elysium proper, but you
Yes.
could basically go, you gonna meet me outside somewhere quiet and
You
away
did
from
me
stuff.
wrong. I want restitution. We're gonna go outside.
And then Maeve will, of course, join in the fight, but...
This is why Jolene wanted to stay home.
And at the moment, in addition to that, which is kind of would be an all the time kind of thing, at the moment, everybody knows the Jones Valley Coterie is currently,
In favor.
yes, in favor with the
The
prince.
favorite.
You know, you took care of a problem. He has publicly acknowledged owing you a moderate boon.
Mhm.
So, you know.
Quick look around. No Thin Bloods, no Lee.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
You do recognize one of the caitiff.
Okay.
He's Mark Coleman. And he is financially a little better off than a lot of caitiff are. However, his embrace went down. You know, he was able to maintain his original identity. You know, nobody knows that he's dead, and you know, he just changed his work schedule around a little bit.
Yeah.
So he will occasionally be seen at these sorts of things. He's not. Anytime you're not here, he's probably the most snubbed person in the place. But
Gives him the nod, like, I got your spot tonight, man.
he gives you a little tip of his glass.
Samuel will put a hand on Jolene's shoulder for a moment.
What, Dad?
Do you recognize anyone from your neck of the woods here?
Kind of nods to the guy she just nodded to. And, I mean, smart.
There's a warning you need to pass on. They would appreciate it more from you than me.
Alright.
It will be announced, potentially, but there was a small pack of lupine that were sighted in the caitiff territories.
It's gonna be announced, but you know before it's being announced.
I learned about it Friday.
And it's Sunday.
Yes, because I was just going to bed when I was told.
And then
Saturday,
there's Saturday.
I was running errands for my promotion. Because there was a major clan issue that had to be dealt with.
Of course, there's always something that needs to be dealt with. I'll make sure they know. Kind of walks off.
Do you immediately? I mean, did you basically just immediately make your way over to Coleman, or do you?
She'll, because that's the person least likely to kill her in this situation. Sure.
You have a pretty good rep with the Thin Bloods, especially, but the caitiff to some degree.
Kind of gives him a nod.
At least the caitiff that aren't, trying to butter up people.
She knows they're both like lowest of the totem pole, so. It's like when this is done, it's gonna be announced. But get word back to everyone to watch their butt.
Oh, is something going on?
Yeah, I just found out about it, but it's apparently gonna be announced out tonight too. There's no one like really around them. I'm guessing because.
Not real close by. I mean, there's a few people that come by and talk to him, but
Just kind of like leans in close, like just like don't steal your face for a second here. Loop up in y'all's neck of the wood. Potential.
we'd been hearing some rumors about him up north, the Hazel Green area, and what have you. Coming down from Tennessee, probably, but
Yeah. Apparently, they're a lot closer than we think, and I would have tried to get it to you earlier, but I just found out once I got inside.
oh, that's great.
Convenient.
It's typical, but
Ain't it the truth, though?
yeah, I'll let Lee and all of them know.
Yeah. How's he doing, by the way? You hear anything good about
Or
him?
not, Lee. I'm sorry,
Eddie.
Eddie. Thank you. And yeah, if you ask about Lee, I'll be like, he seems to be fitting in all right.
Good, good.
He's
Still gets out of line. I will personally drag his ass out into the sunshine and take him for a walk.
he just sort of smiles. You seem to have put the fear of Jolene in him.
And that's good enough for me. It's like, I'll let you get back to being the other social pariah of the night, sir.
I will. My pariah burden is lifted with you here, so thanks for that.
I live to serve, sir.
Oh boy.
So the night progresses. Is there anybody, any of the rest of you would particularly be looking to talk to?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Not unless, you know. I'm Blackjack's very much you come to me, I don't go to you unless something specific happens. But he would be kind of like shadowing Jolene a little bit.
Maeve, Colin kind of breaks off from you fairly quickly and starts kind of mingling and chatting. He has been to Huntsville before, so he already knows some of the folks around here. Let's see. Maeve has a Malkavian contact, acquaintance. Did we ever come up with a name for him? Or her, for that matter?
I think you wrote it down.
The Malkavian one?
Harold. No, that's the.
Jack
David.
Brooks.
Yeah, Jack Babylon Brooks.
That's right. I remember that name. I think I
Babylon
typed it up.
Brooks.
I didn't put it on the.
It's in the little note on the thingy.
Yeah. Kindred, very, very aptly named. All right. So yes, Jack Babbling Brooks. I'll go ahead and jot that in here so I have it in multiple places. You do get approached by Jack. There's actually several Malkavians here. And they're all color coded, or color coordinated. Excuse me.
Okay.
Which is actually not that unusual for Malkavians.
But say typical.
It's actually fairly typical. Here in town, only the Primogen tends to buck that trend for the most part. But he tends to wear well-tailored but relatively bland suits. Really goes out of his way to try to appear businesslike and, normal. But as I'm saying, Jack approaches you. Maeve, my dear, how are you doing on this fine, fine evening?
Better than most days. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. The children are being a little rowdy of late.
Understandable. Might be a little bit more rowdy later on in the evening as well.
Yes, they've been much more active. I think it's a sign of an ill wind.
Yeah.
I think something dreadful is coming to our little city. Or maybe it's already here. I don't know.
Probably has been here for a while. And more is just coming along.
It's possible.
Maybe
I,
more dark clouds are coming around.
I just mentioned this to you because as I was nodding off the other morning, I'm pretty sure I heard the children mention you by name.
Oh.
It's hard to say. They're usually, by the dawn, they're usually departing themselves. You know, back to the graveyard. The playground is for living children during the day.
Yeah.
And you would know that Jack's domain is over close to what's referred to as the Dead Children's Playground. It has a more appropriate name, but it's next door to a cemetery, and that cemetery has got several ghost stories related to it. But there's also quite a few children buried there that died in the Spanish flu pandemic.
Okay.
Of 1918. And there's always been stories that at night you can hear them playing in the playground. You don't know exactly where he lairs, but it's over in that area.
Yeah.
So he often speaks about, this or that the children have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you drive past, he may be propped up on the fence by the playground just watching what appears to be an empty playground to you, but
Yeah. Okay.
But he seems a little agitated, a little worried, perhaps.
Do you know what the children were saying? Anything else besides when they were saying my name or talking about me?
No, like I said, I was nodding off. The sun was just coming up. It might have been my imagination, but I thought you should know. If the dead are speaking of you, it could be a bad sign.
Yeah. And I thank you for letting me know.
Always happy to help. Let's see. Let's see. He doesn't make any special attempt to approach you, but Blackjack, you see, also of Clan Malkavian, a friend of yours, old Bobby Bedlam.
Oh boy.
He's there. He nods at you when he sees you, but he's in
Yeah,
conversation with
just kinda-
somebody. So
I might wait till he's like done conversating and go approach him. I don't expect him to be here. Give him
he
the-
tends to skip these a lot of times. He's got a real kind of mantic, depressive sort of vibe to him.
Yeah, I vibe with
Yeah.
that
When he's
sometimes.
when he's on, but
Hey, maybe he's on.
this would seem to be one of his rare middle of the road days, where he's not too up, he's not too down.
I'll wait for him to finish the conversation and be like, Bobby! I
Blackjack.
didn't expect to see you here.
I don't usually make these, but I hear there's going to be some big news.
Where'd you hear that from? Oh, right. Malkavian. Never mind.
He just smiles.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on either, but, you missed the last time I was here. Apparently I had a pretty rousing speech with the local kindred.
I've heard something about that.
I'm sure you have.
I forget this. What was the speech? If yous can change and eyes can change. No, wait, that was Rocky.
I was rock.
Oh, that fourth movie was terrible.
Yeah, it really was.
What were we talking about again? Oh, right, your rousing speech. But you know, that's actually something your clan used to be known for.
Yeah, it's
I mean, the
Something
children
like-
these days, not so much.
right. I like to keep it in my back pocket. I don't like to be overt about it. You understand me? I know you know, cause you've probably looked at my head a few times, but you know, it's just one of those things I like to keep on me, just in case it needs to be said, or if I feel something needs to be talked about that wasn't really emphasized.
Just play to that stereotype most of the time.
Yeah, you understand me.
And then when they're not expecting it, whack them in the face with a speech.
Yeah, exactly. See, you get me. That's why I like you, Bobby.
Well, I like you too. Most of the time. You're good at
It's mutual, buddy.
you're good at listening when someone wishes to give you advice.
Of course. Do you happen to have any of that sage advice?
Well, I can't help but notice that you hang around with the thin blood an awful lot.
It's I'm painfully aware.
Now, you
Of,
said you're hanging around Jolene for the most part. Is she within earshot of this conversation?
I don't know, is she? I'm
If she
I'm
saw
mostly
him
just
go
keeping
into-
a
If she saw him going to have a talk with him, she'd go off and do something else. She's not going to eavesdrop.
Okay.
Find a
it's,
wall.
it's less hanging around her, it's more just keeping her in eye shot so that someone doesn't like run up on her randomly.
Uh,
Cuts her under her arm, runs off.
I mean, she seems like a very pleasant young lady. Certainly not hard on the eyes, if you're into that sort of thing.
It's
But you know, she is a
It's less-
harbinger. She is a harbinger of Gehenna.
that's what they all say.
Then it must be true.
Oh, it must be something fabricated.
Well, that's fair.
Could be
Everyone
evil.
says my clan is mad, so
Yeah, exactly. You ain't mad. You just a little extra sometimes. And ain't nothing wrong with extra.
still though.
Just think of it this way. Your building is only as strong as your weakest brick. You gotta make sure that that brick is properly maintained and
I thought
Yeah,
that
I'm
was
saying
chains
it's-
and links.
yeah, whatever. The metaphor still holds.
You seem to have confused
Point
Bobby
is-
briefly.
Anyway,
Anyway,
the
just
point is, I like to make sure that no one does anything untoward in my presence, because I'm not gonna say that I would ever violate Elysium, but at the very least I would demand recompense for it.
she's a friend of yours. That makes her fine in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Until she brings the end times. You know, since
Bring
the
the end
prince since the prince chose to begin sparing the thin bloods with her, there's more and more of them in town.
It's like people keep making vampires.
I hear
some.
they're congregating in the north. Mark my words, something ill will come out of the north because of this.
Little does he know.
I mean, he ain't wrong.
The players screaming internally.
All the players internally are like, yeah, we know.
He seems to be slowly working himself up the more he talks about, thin bloods in general.
I wouldn't so much worry about it, because any kind of threat that we faced so far, we've kind of dealt with it. We took the Tremere thing on the chin, but everything else, smooth sailing.
Yes, but we were eliminating them then. We were thinning them out. We were keeping Gehenna away from our town.
I think it's something we just gotta watch and wait, and maybe if they come back to it, we'll see.
Yeah,
However-
maybe so.
I don't think it's a harbinger of the end times. I do appreciate your insights, of course, but we both know sometimes they can be a little cloudy, or not quite the full picture.
Yes, we only know what we know. We can't know what we don't know.
Yeah, precisely. I appreciate you, Bobby. You've always been there for me.
Ah, well, I'd like to help you out.
Puts a hand on his shoulder, like very gingerly at first, but if I see him recoil,
Hey, Bobby's not too.
he's just on his shoulder like that. Alright, I'll leave you to it. You have a good one, Bobby. And if you need a easy way out, just let me know, and I'll, same old things we always do. Just get you out of here if you need to make an exit.
No, I think I'll be fine tonight.
Alright. Well, you let me know. My specialty is getting people out of public situations quick like.
Yes, I remember.
And you wave at him and walk off.
Let's see. Alexander. Who here at Elysium would be curious about a new Nosferatu?
I don't know. You tell me.
Because if no one's going to come up to him, there's a good chance he might more likely just eavesdrop on people to learn.
Who would he like to eavesdrop on?
Oh God.
You did this to yourself.
I mean, he could,
like I said,
he could cloak.
You see a cluster of Toreador over to one side that mostly seem to be watching Jolene. You see some fellows that well, you see several groups that are just mixed. You're not familiar enough with the kindred of the city to really be able to the Toreador in a group kind of stand out, but
he'll probably slink within earshot of the Toreador, and then using his good old kind of cloak of shadows, he'll start to just quickly, just stand still so he slowly fades out of people's vision.
okay. Give me a stealth.
Yeah, let's see.
Because you're in a
let's see
room
how
full of
well
people,
this
but they're not
goes.
necessarily paying you much attention.
It's okay. The dice are being angry at me, not you.
Don't say that.
You
then
you
my
don't
turn.
know that. So that's gonna be what, a stealth plus
Don't
a.
curse him with that.
I just weakened him.
We're
them.
gonna go with stealth. Give me a stealth wits, because this is less about being super
Stealthy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like,
it's less about you physically being able to be stealthy, and it's more of fading out when nobody's paying attention to you.
of course, no modifiers, so no whammy, go.
Okay, that's 2 successes. That's pretty reasonable. You don't think anybody notices you as you kind of, just kind of stand in a corner or, up against a wall. You kind of pull the wallflower sort of thing.
Okay.
Which is not unusual, when a Nosferatu does show these things. With the exception of Grandmother Dorcas herself or the clan whip. If they show up to one of these, they usually keep themselves visible.
Yeah, but I said that they tend to be a little bit more social butterflies, as it were.
Yeah, by nature of their positions, they kind of have to be.
Happen to be, yeah.
So you kind of ease over, a little bit closer to the Toreador. And they are making snide comments about the coterie. Your coterie. You hear them, they're critiquing Blackjack's outfit. They're pretty sure it's exactly what he wore at the last one. Does he only have the one? And that speech the last time. Was he trying to rile people up? What was that about? Though one of them admits it was well given, though. And you have a couple other people in the crowd kind of go, one of them kind of goes, the Thin Blood's by herself now. Should we go over there and, somebody in the crowd asked, or in the little group asked if, hey, you think it'd be funny if I went over there and spilled my drink on her? Strangely, most of the Toreador at him just kind of look at him and kind of roll their eyes. You get the impression he must not be Toreador. While Jeanette acknowledges she thinks that'd be funny to see. It's kind of a crass way to go about it. And any blame would fall back on, the person potentially, and it'd be less embarrassing to her than probably whoever did it. They need to just wait for a moment when they can, verbally cut her down, or wait until she makes a misstep and then pounce. Let's see. You hear them mention you, because like I said, they continue to discuss your coterie. Trying to figure out why Samuel put this group together. Having a brouhaha, I guess if they had burned down my clan's haven, if the Inquisition had burned down my clan's haven, I'd be wanting someone on hand, that can fight. Maybe that's why you got the Gangrel too. They're pretty good in fights. Not much good for anything else. Generally, they seem to have a low opinion of Bruja and Gangrel.
They seem to have a low opinion of everybody, except for me so far.
The Thin Blood, they're baffled as to what use he'd have for one of those. With the addition of the Nosferatu, though, they're wondering if he might have political ambitions. The Nosferatu were good at gathering secrets. He goes like, one of them even goes, they could have him here now, gathering information. And then the entire group kind of looks around. Where did he get to?
Yeah, where did our Nosferatu get to? I don't see him anywhere.
Doing Nosferatu things.
Oh, there he is. That's our cat counter for this game. I know it.
The Nos counter.
Yep. The Nos counter.
Like, he's 100% not going to move. He's not going to say anything. He's going to wait until the Toreador are, like, not paying attention in his general area. And then he's going to be like, that's enough eavesdropping on this conversation. I'm not learning much of anything.
Yeah, and you're not. They eventually move on to subjects that aren't you, but it's, art exhibits at the museum. It's what you would kind of think of as stereotypical Toreador talk.
Yeah, he'd get kind of bored of that. It's like, this ain't useful.
So,
and, like, the second they're not paying attention his direction, he'll, like, slowly, like, start shifting towards another location.
Give me another stealth check. Unless you're going to use the actual, not your level 1, the level 2 that lets you move while still staying obfuscated. That requires a rouse roll, though, so, Or you could just make another stealth roll like you've made before. You know, you did do pretty good on that roll, and you got a decent die pool for it. So.
What was it? Stealth and wits?
Yes.
No modifiers. Yeet.
Oh yeah, you absolutely managed to slip off without them realizing you were there.
Aha! I may not be stealthing in the dungeon, but I'm doing just as good.
It's kind of a dungeon. Political dungeon.
Exactly.
I'm going to assume he's referencing a D&D game y'all are in or something.
Oh, I have yet to ever play a rogue-like character. So, this is, to me, I'm kind of experimenting. I know it's a weird experiment, but it's interesting all the same. But anyway.
Eventually, the Seneschal steps forward, Tucker. And much like he did in the last one, he's got his little wine glass. And like a little stirring rod or something, some little glass thing, kind of dings it on the edge of the cup. To draw everyone's attention. It's not real loud, but everybody's used to how he does this. So as soon as that starts, everybody kind of gets silent and looks over towards kind of the back of the room. And like I said, this was a bank, so you're in kind of the big central area. Very high ceilings, or relatively high ceilings. Done up in kind of classically how it looked. Because once the bank donated it to some people, they went through a lot of restoration on it. The back door is open. The Primogen file out. At that end of the room, there's seats set up for all of them, with two kind of in the center, much like they had at Bird on the Mountain, where you're going to have the prince and his wife sitting here, and the rest of the Primogen kind of flanking them. But they come out and they take their seats. Then the prince and his wife come out, or Lady Deschler. Come out and she sits. The prince is still standing at the moment. Kindred of the city of Huntsville, I have called you here today to let you know that our little family is growing. Both the Camarilla and here in our domain. As you have likely heard, the Banu Hakim will soon be joining the Camarilla. And we have been asked to host a coterie in preparation for this. Please allow me to introduce, and as he says that, 4 individuals come walking in. 2 of them are dressed in fairly traditional Muslim garb. I mean, not like over the top or anything, but they look to be of African descent. And then there are the next 2 that follow behind them are not what you would classically think of as children of Hakim, as they are both, pretty white European looking. They come out. This is Arif Zakaria. Zakaria. Zakaria, excuse me, Zakaria. This is Arif Zakaria. Vizier of the Banu Hakim. He is the head. He is the elder of this coterie. He is now taking up dominion over the Calhoun campus. And Samuel, you can see Alejandro kind of tense up when he says that, but he keeps it pretty on the down low.
Mm-hmm.
He will be taking a advisory role with the Primogen, which will allow him to begin integrating into the political structures we have here in town. Though until such time as the Banu Hakim are officially accepted into the Camarilla, that's what I say. Be a purely advisory position until such time. In addition to him, we have his daughter, Abla Zakaria, and Bruce Bradley, and he points to the man, and Anya Petrov. He gestures to the other. Both of them look like soldiers. They just have that, ramrod straight pose. They're kind of at a, at ease kind of pose, flanking the Zacarias. And if you pay attention, their eyes are sweeping the crowd kind of at all times.
If ever they make eye contact with me, I just kind of do the eyebrow waggle.
Anya is the one that catches your eye. When you do that, she kind of... her eyes pause. She makes no visible acknowledgement of you, but there's a slight pause in her kind of looking around. So you know she caught it.
Good.
As Blackjack's like, hey, baby.
That's less hey, baby. It's more I recognize new people in the city. Hey, baby, maybe later.
Depending on how the night goes.
Maybe I can do that if I want.
Depends on how the night goes and how many drinks you have.
Exactly.
Arif steps forward at this point. Thank you, Prince, for your warm welcome into this fine city, this center of learning. We know there is unrest to the south, and we wish to assure the other citizens of Huntsville that we will stand firmly with you against this anarch threat. As I'm sure you know, our ancient enemies, the Setites, have joined forces with the Anarchs, making them firmly our enemies. If there is ever anything that we could do to aid any of you, do not hesitate to ask. We have knowledges and skills that of late may be lacking in the city. And then he kind of nods to the prince, and he and his three kind of stepped off into the crowd at that point. Kind of their presentation is kind of done. The prince gives him a nod. In addition to this, we have, or the seneschal steps forward. Now is the time for any new to our city to present themselves to the prince. At that point, Colin steps forward. My prince, I am Colin of Clan Gangrel. I have been sent to your city in search of an item or information on an item. My investigation will take me primarily to the north, out of your domain. But with your permission, I will use your domain as a base of operations, a safe haven out of the wilds. The prince nods. You're no stranger here, Colin. So long as you obey the traditions, you may dwell here as long as needed. For purposes of your sustenance, you may hunt the old Gangrel territories to the north, as they are currently unused. There's one or two other people that present themselves, but they are all just a kindred moving through from one, just passing through. But they've got to spend a night or two here, so they get acknowledged by the prince. At this point, the prince tells you all. Let's see, will he use heavy heart? Yeah, he'll simply. It's been brought to my attention that there is a gathering of lupines to the north. There's a slight murmur in the crowd at that point. They seem to be massing and will undoubtedly be causing some sort of trouble soon. You hear one voice towards the back. I knew it! The Thin Bloods gather in the north, and evil is coming from the north.
Kind of like quietly go to Bobby. Now's not the time.
Give me a manipulation. Let's see if you can calm him down. Oh wait, that's Alexander's sheet, not Blackjack's. So this would be manipulation, persuasion.
Okay. Do I have a modifier because he's my friend?
I'll give you a +1 because you're buddies and he trusts you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. 3 successes.
Oh, that's pretty good. You managed to get him quieting down where he's talking to you in a whisper now.
Mm-hmm.
But I told you.
I know.
But I told you.
I know. I understand. It's just something to investigate. It's fine.
Jolene, you notice Jeanette looking straight at you when he starts this. She immediately just looks at you. Here.
Just looking straight ahead, kind of like that 1,000-yard stare.
1,000-yard stare.
I'm looking for my happy place. I'm looking for my happy
And
place.
when he goes, the Thin Bloods are guy in the north. Yeah, you're pretty sure everybody in the room just sort of does the slow turn to look at you.
Shoulders squared, looking straight ahead.
Except for the Banu Hakim. They don't seem to know what's going on.
I'm sure they'll find out.
The prince does not acknowledge that any of this is going on. You notice him cut his eyes towards Jeanette when she goes here, but other than that. He just continues on that, our visitor Colin has brought this, has helped discover this, as well as his children, who is one of us. It appears we have had a wolf in sheep's clothing dwelling in our town, in our city, this entire time. Steps will be taken to root them out. And I assure you that the sheriff and the scourge are on alert and will be directing much of their forces to the north. When the animals make their move, we will be prepared. We are already equipping our sheriffs with the tools they will need to tame these curs. Let's see. Should it prove that we need the assistance of any of the rest of the coteries, we will of course notify you. And then they move on to some other minor business of the town. And then the Primogen, they all step down and they all start intermingling, and it kind of goes back to a party atmosphere at this point. The Malkavian Primogen, Chatham, or Chatham, was it Chatham? Yeah, Chatham. Get my pronunciations right. He makes his way over to Bedlam pretty quick. Blackjack. He gives you a nod as he walks by. Thank you for calming my clanmate down.
He's a friend of mine, clan or otherwise. I just, I understand the plight of the Malkavian, child of Malkav. I do my best to.
Yes, generally he doesn't venture out to these, but
it's quite alright.
We thought he was having a good day.
He was. I'll see you another time. Unless there's something you want to speak with. Unless you're comfortable with me being in here, then I don't mind that at all.
Oh no, it's quite alright. I'm going to have some of my people take him back home. I think he's had enough excitement for the day.
Alright, that's absolutely.
As they walk away, you hear Bobby, talking to. But I've been warning everybody. I've been warning him. They're in the north. Something was going to happen in the north. And his room just like, yes. Well, we're taking care of it.
I'll just kind of wave to Bobby and the Primogen. No. Kind of make my way towards, I don't know, Samuel.
As you walk over towards Samuel, let's see. Your path winds up blocked by the lady you met eyes with, Anya Petrov.
Okay. Alright. How?
Hello. And when she speaks with a Russian accent.
Yeah, I understand. It's okay.
I'm not going to try to do an accent.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
We can't all be Matt Mercer.
Or Heath. Heath does good.
Yeah, he does.
Heath does pretty good accent.
My thing is, the few accents I can kind of do, I can't hold them steady. So anyway, carrying on. Uh, she introduces herself.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Blackjack.
Is that your actual name or just what they call you?
It's call it a chosen name in the it as my afterlife, I suppose.
I see.
John Mulligan's dead. Blackjack is who's here.
I had John Mulligan written down, and I cannot remember where in the world that name came from. Could someone?
No, you
John Mulligan. Who is John Mulligan?
It's the Always Sunny board.
She's like, she was lucky. Or she says it's much the same with her. She died. She died on a mission, so she has no real option to go back home. If they found she was alive or found she was still around, they'd probably just think she was a deserter.
I sympathize with that plan. Kind of in the opposite direction, but I sympathize nonetheless.
And she's quite athletic looking.
What is with you giving me muscly women?
You keep playing
somewhere
Bruce.
Jolene's like, she's not my cousin.
Blonde
But is
hair. She's 5'6" or so.
Mhm.
And what clan do you belong to?
I'm a Bruja.
Oh, one of the sheriffs.
Not quite.
Childers.
No, not quite. No,
Oh, I thought all the Bruja
Um,
still here were.
not necessarily. I might be one of maybe like 2 or 3 outliers, but as far as I know, you are generally correct. But I'm an outside case, I suppose.
You did not drink the Kool-Aid the rest of your clan drank.
That's
Enjoy
an
the
interesting way to
anarchs.
put it. That's an interesting way to put it, but no, I did not. My loyalty remains here, with the company you see before you, as well as my coterie, of course.
No, yes, of course. I have faced a Bruja or two in my day.
What did you think?
Skilled. A little overeager, perhaps, sometimes.
A little eager to jump the gun, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. That's a
Yeah.
dreadful, call it stereotype, accurate stereotype, I suppose.
Yes, those of you that
the
can
Bruja.
master your temper are indeed dangerous, though.
So I've heard. Now, what brings you my way? I ain't that special. I'm just a regular old Bruja, just kind of walking around.
You seem to be watching me closely on stage. I simply thought I'd introduce myself.
I appreciate that. I'm just I won't say wary of newcomers, but at the same time, yeah, kind of wary of newcomers.
Understandable.
Yeah, I was gonna say you understand.
And my clan has not had the best relationship with the Camarilla, historically speaking, but we are here to improve that.
We shall see how that happens. I'm curious. What are your clan's capabilities? I've never met somebody face to face from your clan.
We are skilled in combat in our way. The elimination of troublesome individuals.
Are you gonna shake if someone says assassin?
when that's called for. We are truthfully a clan of judges.
Judges.
Hakim was, by Cain himself, appointed to watch over and judge Cain's children. To protect the children of Seth, the Kain, from the worst abuses.
The worst abuses.
Hmm.
How does that? That's all well and good for in the years before Christ, but how does that work in the modern nights?
Oh, we'll battle the Sabbat.
They are the worst of us. Granted.
Anyone attempting to set themselves up as a blood god, as they often did in the old days.
That is very specific.
It's come up recently.
Interesting.
There are a few other clans that are known to do dreadful things. Whether it's the Bali and their demon worshipping, or some of the more extreme experiments from the Tremere.
Spellcasters are
Like I
always just
said,
one step away.
What was that?
Spellcasters are always just one step away from setting a nuke setting fire to their surroundings.
Yeah, blood sorcery can be used beneficially.
Is this going to be a theme for a while?
You don't know.
Uh-huh. It's all fun and games until Samuel erupts in a pillar of flame and starts flinging it around.
So anyway, she
What
chit
is she
chats
doing
with
to the car? I don't know.
she chit chats with you a little more and then moves on. You kind of notice that all the Banu Hakim are mingling.
I was gonna say, are you gonna say they're like all within like eye shot of me, like?
Warriors, baby.
No, they just all seem to be mingling and chatting with meeting as many people as possible.
Having thought about it a little bit, I would probably like U-turn away from Samuel and probably go towards Prince. Against my better judgment.
Okay. Let's see. Who else
But
is?
you can go someone else for now.
Yeah. We'll bounce to somebody else briefly.
Yeah.
The Prince is, of course, surrounded by all kinds of people. Everybody wants to talk to the Prince.
It's gonna take me a hot minute to get there.
Grab a number.
That's if the Seneschal lets you even get to him.
That's also fair.
Right. Time
So-
to activate stealth.
Jolene. Bruce Bradley approaches you. He was another one of the guys on stage. The other obviously military-looking guy.
Puts on her best retail charm face.
So I don't mean to be rude or anything. And he sounds American. Got a New England accent. But when that fella started losing it in the back, I noticed everybody was looking at you.
Now, there's a quick, easy explanation for that, sir. Up until a bit ago, most Thin Bloods found out around here got a nice walk in the sunshine if they weren't immune to it. The other ones just got... The rest of us survived somehow and got branded.
Oh, so you're a thin blood.
Yes, sir.
I guess that makes sense with what he was saying. I'm not sure I've actually met one of you yet.
We're not that much different.
Really, that's not what I've heard.
Well,
I mean,
what
you did
have
start this
heard?
off by talking about, if you're not immune to the sun.
Well, we did get some special gifts in exchange sometimes for being the bottom of the pecking order, I suppose.
Let's see how. This guy's more of a warrior, so. I've noticed, or we'd heard the Camarilla had begun changing their policy on the Thin Bloods.
Yes, sir. I was the first one allowed to continue living, or unliving as it would.
Why you? Or was it-
Honestly, sir, I wish I knew.
Oh, yeah. My clan is has some mixed feelings. The more traditionalists that we've broken away from, those that still follow the old ways, I think they are much more on par with what the Camarilla used to be, as far as their treatment of the Thin Bloods. Arif here is less of a opinion that you should be that anything should be done about the Thin Bloods. He agrees with the old teachings that you're a sign of the final nights, but not a cause of them. Much like the Red Star appearing all those years back was a sign of things coming, but not something that caused anything.
I can only speak for myself and those that I know, sir. Most of us just want to live our lives.
Yeah, perhaps you'll be able to.
That is the dream.
In the end, it may only be you that survives. If the beckoning begins to call us all.
Well, someone has to keep the traditions, huh?
Yes, the traditions are extremely important. At this point, some other people kind of approach him, and they don't literally bump you out of the way.
She'll just kind of give him a nod and have a good evening, sir. I'm sure your dance card is a bit full this evening.
I imagine it will be for all of us. It was a pleasure to meet you, though.
Pleasure as well, sir.
Alexander, what are you doing? Are you going back to your kind of hiding and eavesdropping, or are you going to try to talk to somebody?
That does beg a good question, doesn't it? Because he'd probably be more inclined. I mean, that's what he enjoys to do, is just a little bit of lurking. He'd probably go just kind of eavesdrop on mostly whichever one was hinting at blood magic. A little bit.
Well, Arif had said that they could provide some abilities and skills that the city had been lacking in recently. That might have been a jab at Tremere.
Probably.
And he was very definitely the one in charge of the new guys. Now, he is also the one that seems to have the most people talking to him.
No, if he's got the most people talking to him, too many eyes to possibly notice him get close. If anything, he would probably... Actually, at this point, he would probably just socialize a little bit and maybe go talk to Jolene. See how she's doing.
She's standing there awkwardly by herself with a drink.
Straight up not having a good time, bro.
Oh, he's very well aware.
As you're walking up to her, one of the Tremere come by and kind of give her the up and down look. Oh,
Yeah.
nice outfit. Was it? Where did you pick that up from? Target?
Your mother's closet.
They kind of wrinkle their nose at you.
Takes a sip of her drink.
You know what?
It's not even like a sip. It's just
Just tease to lip.
You seem to be enjoying yourself, yes?
I haven't known you long enough to know if you do sarcasm or not.
Oh, right. Sorry. Something I'm practicing. Don't worry. I mean no harm.
The little exchange that you have with the Tremere, give me a composure etiquette roll. Just to see in this little exchange,
In the
as it's just in the exchange of barbs to see who gets off better. And this is not Jeanette. This is one of the kind of nameless toreadors that you're not super familiar with.
It could have been worse.
Yeah, you could have had no successes.
also could have had better.
They beat you by one.
They could willpower it if you want to. They come back.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm willpowering the insult.
All right, roll 3 of. So you've currently got 3 successes, and you get to re-roll 3 dice.
And they're all
There you go.
successes.
So, about that beating her by 1.
So you basically go your mama, but in a
Your
much more
sire.
flowery. From your size, Claude.
She's been learning from Samuel.
She's learned one thing from Samuel: the subtle art of telling someone to go to hell so they enjoy.
Basically.
So she just kind of stutters for a second. Just.
Tell Miss Blanchette I said hello.
She walks away muttering something about not being your messenger.
But I made you my bitch.
And that's when Alexander walks in and goes, I see you're having fun.
Pretty much.
Oh man.
I'm not really good at these social party things. I'm wondering how early we're allowed to cut out, or if we have to all cut out as a group.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, kind of got that feeling.
Advice, friendly, yes. Keep eye on Tremere. Do not trust, they do not.
Oh, you don't gotta tell me twice.
Well, you see, as I decided to just slightly listen on them talking, which, by the way, very, very boring in the end. They did talk about you, well, a little. So,
You get gives to it.
no, I understand. They also talk bad about Blackjack.
I mean, we could go slash their tires or something, but I don't think that's smart.
No. I do better. Rats. I can gather plenty of them. But that's neither here nor there. Yes. But
You're
anyway,
gonna. I mean, why would you get rats? Are they gonna slash the tires? Do they have tiny knives? Are we gonna load their trunk full of rats so when they go back to wherever Fruity place they go and open the trunk, just rats?
Or they can just eat them at a house home.
Or we're like delivering them a snack.
Yes, that's true.
Can you imagine a Toreador eating rats?
No. Well, actually, yes. It would probably be with a good fork and a knife.
The
But-
nicest, like, silver straw.
Right.
But no, I. What's the best way to put this? I know you don't know me well. None of you know me well yet, and I wish to fix. So here I try to tell you more info of enemy, quote unquote.
I appreciate it.
Yes, yes.
I doubt I'll hear anyone say anything about you just because, in general, people don't talk to me, but if I do, I'll make sure to pass it on to.
Oh, yes, new info. Always appreciative.
Or if I hear any fun gossip at Waffle House, I'll pass it on to you.
He kind of gives you a shit-eating grin.
Oh, sweetheart, if you get bored one night, just come in and watch the show.
He smiles at you more.
And it's like, I might do that. Let me know when you work next.
She'll just let him know next time she works.
Well, it'll be tomorrow night.
Just looks over at the like giant shadow, like shadowy corner. Like, can you see this shit? Do you see this shit? Like breaking the fourth wall.
Looking at the audience instead.
Good grief.
Samuel,
Yes.
as you're standing around talking,
Mm-hmm.
Abla walks up to you.
Okay.
As she's approaching you know, kind of over her shoulder off in the distance, you catch Alejandro kind of catches your eye and kind of gives you a nod.
Yeah, and he'll look at her and I was like, "It is a pleasure to meet you."
Oh, the pleasure's mine. You're very dapperly dressed.
My thanks. I prefer to be a little bit more ostentatious.
She kind of nods. We're supposed to be mingling and meeting the kindred of the city.
Of course.
I am Abla Zakaria. I'm sure you know that as my father introduced us, but
Well, it is never wrong to introduce yourself formally. I am Samuel Coldwood.
oh, and what position do you hold here in the city?
Well, depends on what you're asking. I am foremost a doctor.
Oh, medical?
Yes, indeed.
I mean, it's a college town. A lot of people could have doctors.
Yes.
Well, that's an interesting profession for one of us.
You can blame my sire.
He chose you because you were a doctor, or pressed you to become a doctor?
No, we were both veterans of war. And he was my teacher in the arts of battlefield medicine.
I have had some training in that. Not to the level of being a full doctor or anything. And it's not something I've had much use for since the embrace. But
Well, our bodies may be different, but the physiology is the same.
Well, it's good to meet another member of the intelligentsia, another learned man.
I do pride myself in being a scholar. If you don't mind perhaps minutely evasive question, what is it you do?
I specialize in the use of blood sorcery.
If I know my history correct, that would make you of the sorcerer caste?
Yes, I was blanking on what the cast was called. I remember the Viziers and the Warriors.
Yeah, I am fairly certain that Mr. Bruce Bradley and Lady Anya Petrov are warriors.
It's pretty obvious from looking at them, isn't it? They just have that bearing.
Yeah.
And yes, he was. Bruce was American Special Forces, and Anya was Spetsnaz.
Interesting. I was a part of the Royal Air Force myself.
So English, I assume, from the accent.
Of course, yes. My sire thought it might be good for me to get out and see the world a little more. Just found the Americas, and settled here.
I have visited your homeland once, but tended to avoid London. Mithras was not someone to be trifled with.
Nope.
Strange how it was the kind that eventually brought him down.
There's one thing I have learned through my many years: the kind can certainly surprise you in many ways.
1,000 years of ruling a city, only to be killed by the mortals.
It can certainly happen if you are not careful.
My clan tends to be very careful.
I do my best to be. Despite the many prejudices against my clan.
Oh. To what clan do you belong?
I am one of the few members of Clan Tremere left in the city.
There's a slight widening of her eyes when you mention Clan Tremere. But other than that, she covers it up pretty well. Yes, I'd heard the Second Inquisition had burned your home down. You're a chantry.
He doesn't comment on that he caught it. Well, actually, no, he probably would. I'll just sort of give a brief smile. It's like, I know it doesn't look it, does it?
Doesn't look it. Doesn't look what?
My bearing. Personality.
Well, yes, you have one, so that's a little different from what I typically expect from your clan.
Yes, it comes and goes.
I hear your clan is, after the attack in Vienna, is somewhat splintered compared to its compared to how it's been so unified historically.
Well, it depends upon who you ask. If your comment is to say there are factions now, you are certainly correct. Much like how the Banu Hakim have split into several factions now, if I understand.
Yes, there are the traditionalists and ourselves. We
have our own traditionalists.
Interesting how this happened to both of us at the same time, or roughly the same time.
It is indeed, isn't it?
I guess it makes us strange bedfellows.
An odd choice of words, but I will not argue.
She doesn't literally blush because she's a vampire, but you get the impression that she was not making an innuendo on purpose. Let's see. What else? I know our clans have been at odds, historically speaking,
We have.
but we are all under the umbrella of the Camarilla now.
We are. So I will say this, if it might assuade any potential doubts you might have. I, first and foremost, am a scholar. My primary concern is to learn and to grow my knowledge. So I hope that is not considered at odds. I do my best to keep the kind out of my business.
Between that and your profession, I doubt we will ever come to odds.
Yes, I would prefer not to be judged.
You know, provided, of course, that your local clan mates do not engage in experimentation on the kind.
Well, for them I cannot say. We tend to keep to ourselves
It's probably
And,
safer given what happened.
and do our own research. Mine is more towards the study of the gifts or curses, depending on who you ask, that Cain left us.
Oh, you look into our very natures.
Precisely.
Definitely a worthy avenue of study.
It is incredibly challenging at times, but there is nothing worthwhile that is not.
This is true. And at this point, she eventually kind of has to break away, and
Yes.
it was very pleasant to meet you. I'm supposed to be mingling with everyone, though, so
Yes.
I'm
of
sure we'll have a
course.
chance to speak again.
Me as a player, I'm trying to figure out if it appears Russian, correct?
No, that was Anya.
That was Anya.
Anya.
Abla,
So it's Abla and Arif
are looks like African
are-
Muslims.
looks like African Muslims. Okay.
In fact,
So,
the slight accent they've got, you would probably say Ethiopian.
Ethiopia. My brain's sitting here going, would a kiss to the back of the hand be considered something not cool with their culture? Because me as the player, I don't know.
She's been to England. They're clearly cosmopolitan. You know, she doesn't have like a thick accent or anything. It'd be a toss-up.
Yeah.
You know, she's not. She's wearing a bit of a scarf, but it doesn't appear to be one of the more. I don't want to say extreme. One of the. She's not dressed like the more strict sex.
Yeah. No, he'd probably, since this is their first meeting, probably just give a brief nod. Like, the pleasure was mine, Miss Abla Zakata. Please feel free to come speak with me again if you ever feel the need to
Undoubtedly, we will speak again at some point, Doctor.
share notes with a fellow scholar.
And then she steps away. Maeve, have you been mingling or?
Yeah, she's been mingling around.
Because you've been in town for a while, correct?
Yeah. She's probably been in town before the anarchists separated.
Okay. So you were kind of like Blackjack. You were here when that went down, but you stuck with the Camarilla.
Yeah.
as you're mingling, Colin kind of, saunters up to you at some point. I can't help but notice that, he's like, you watch these two. And he kind of gestures over to while Samuel and Abla are talking.
She'll watch.
I think this is
Taking a sip of.
I believe they're having a bit of a contest as to who can smooze who the best. Note their, he doesn't actually point, but note their superiors. And as he kind of gestures or draws your attention to Alejandro and Arif, both of them, they're talking to other people, but they also seem to be keeping a fair amount of attention on the conversation going on between these two. And you notice that Alejandro seems to avoid talking to any of the Banu Hakim.
I mean, they know sorcery probably a bit different than the Tremere would know it, but it's still in sorcery all the same.
Yeah, they definitely have their own traditions about it, but
yeah. But at the end of the day, maybe Alejandro feels a bit cornered, or feels like somebody's kind of encroaching into his territory.
Was this you talking or Maeve talking?
Oh, Maeve. She'll be
Okay.
like, well, maybe he's just feeling like somebody's coming, probably gonna take his spot.
What's bad is me knowing you. You would say something like that too.
Colin nods. Yes, it's very likely that he feels threatened. The sorcerers of the clan, they use their magics, to the best of my knowledge, in a pretty broad sense, much like the Tremere, where the viziers and the warriors are much more, the warriors especially, are much more concentrated in the use of it for stealth and assassination. I don't know why they would have been sent here to Huntsville. I mean, the attempt to integrate them into the Camarilla, certainly, but I wouldn't have thought Huntsville would be one of the first places that would get a coterie of them. Anyway, it's interesting. It's none of my business, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, it is a bit weird that not one of the more well-known areas would get them first. But maybe the Camarilla knows something we don't and don't want to tell us.
It would not be the first time that has happened.
Yeah.
Always be careful around those in power.
Yeah, that was one of the first things you taught me.
Well, I'm glad to see it stuck with you. I hope my warnings to be careful around the Tremere also stick with you.
Of course. I mean, the only time I have any contact would be with Samuel. I don't really talk to any of the others.
That's probably for the best. But watch yourself around him as well. He seems a decent sort, but you can never tell with the warlocks.
Yeah.
And our clans do not have the best of history.
Yeah.
At this point, the back door opens and one of the gargoyles steps through. Charybdis, the male. He has. Oh, I'm sorry. I was about to forget. Blackjack was trying to get to the prince. Yeah, the Seneschal is definitely running interference.
Fish,
the
man.
prince is very busy. If you have some bit of let's not use business with him, perhaps I could be of assistance.
It's less business and more permission to use the flow, as it were.
It is 9 o'clock. Just
It is,
letting you
that's
know.
why- I know. That's why I.
What do you
I preface-
just about over? What do you need to use the floor for?
I heard some dissenting whispers as lupines were mentioned, and I just wanna allay everybody's fears.
Perhaps another time. Everyone is mingling and meeting the new additions to the city.
If you say so, Seneschal.
Yes. Perhaps another time.
I guess you don't get one after all. Oh well.
And that's when the back door opens and Charybdis comes running, or not running in, but fast walk. Right up through all the important people between him and the prince.
Mm. Kind of sidestepping.
Well, you weren't close enough to the prince to be in the way, so.
Okay. Good.
He walks up to the prince, kind of gives a, and then leans forward, kind of gives him a nod, and then leans forward and whispers something. The prince nods.
Is the room like really quiet when the gargoyle literally just stampedes through the floor? Probably caused a scene.
Some people are starting to quiet down. Not everybody though.
Okay.
The prince says something to people around him. Oh, go ahead.
I want to ask because I want to see if I can activate my passive Auspic's power of heightened senses to see if I can listen to the conversation.
Okay. Give me a. Is there a roll associated with that, or is it just jack up how far away you can hear stuff and stuff?
It adds points equal to my Auspic's discipline to any rolls I make to perceive things.
Okay. Let's see. So give me one of them rolls.
It's just going to be wits and awareness.
Yes, I believe it will be.
Auspic's rating to all perception rolls.
Oh, perception then. Okay.
So basically to hear, to see, smell,
All right.
all that jazz.
So give me a roll. See if you can overhear.
What would I be rolling?
I think we said wits and.
I merely suggested it. I'm not the storyteller.
No.
Wits awareness? I know awareness is one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, wits awareness.
Wits awareness, okay. Attribute wits. Lovely.
Oh.
So the beast fouls it up because it is just a perception roll.
Yeah.
Isn't there something in there to use willpower to suppress if a critical hits?
I don't really know. And it's late enough that I'm not going to dig through the book right this second.
Yeah. So I just don't hear anything.
Or you hear a little bit of everything.
Fair.
Still like a lot of interference going on.
The beast kicks
well-
in, and
Well, see, there is another bit to it. Is if there's an extreme noise, like if exposed to extreme sensations, then I have to make a wits resolve roll, difficulty 3 or more, to dampen my senses in time, or I take an overload. So could trigger that.
yeah, we'll say he came flying in like that, and by the time he starts to talk, the door he came through slammed shut, just as you were activating your bestial senses.
Okay,
So you don't-
So
So you don't catch what is said, but the prince quickly
Sure.
dismisses the people he was talking to, and you see him make a little signal to the sheriff, and the sheriff and the couple of deputies that were here all start filing out with him. as they leave, Gargoyle Charybdis follows with them. Everybody starts mumbling and questioning what was going on, and we'll find out what was going on next week.
Okay.
So we will wrap here. Everybody in the chat was quiet, but we had several people watching along with us.
And we're always happy to have you.
Yes, thank y'all for showing up.
And I saw like up to 5 people watching. I'm like, yay, numbers.
People.
I actually think I saw 7 at some point.
But
People.
anyway,
Our first Vampire Day, we had like 11.
possibly. So anyway, I had fun running. I hope my players had fun. I hope everybody watching had fun.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow when I believe we'll be having our Monster of the Week game run by V. Thursday should be Descending to Avernus with Maddie. Back on Mondays with Heath running Escorts. And of course us on the following Tuesday. And that should be... I think I ran through everything I needed to announce pretty quickly.
There's a YouTube, there's a Patreon,
Oh, yes. I don't know any of the addresses for all that, though. Go to Patreon and search for Dire Bear. You should find it.
They're all down there.
Yeah, they're all down there.
Oh,
on
that's
Twitch.
right. I forgot, because Dire Bear actually updates that stuff. I never do for the Nerd Eternal. Okay. So anyway, we will see y'all next week. Where are the credits? Roll them credits.